My name's Chris.
And I'm Kristie.
And this is the Great British Bake Off, and indeed, it's our version of it, which is the washing up. So, week two. Week two. We got through week one.
I'm loving it. I'm loving these people.
Yeah, I've got to admit, it's so much better than I anticipated.
It's the vibe of it, Your Honour.
It's the vibe, Your Honour.
It's the vibe. It's the...
It's Marbo.
It's Marbo.
It's native title. It's the vibe, Your Honour. I was actually... Again, we talked about it last week a little bit. Sort of, I don't know what to expect out of it all. And what I'm actually really liking is that they've set them really difficult challenges.
Yeah, and they're all doing really, really well.
I mean, we commented last year.
Chris.
Apart from Chris, we'll come to poor Chris. But we talked about it last year where, make a sponge was challenge number one. And then it was sort of gentle all the way through in large pieces last year. This year...
No Victoria sponge in sight tonight.
They didn't start Genovese, no Victorian, nothing of the kind.
No, I mean, it was biscuit week.
It was biscuit.
Kind of weird.
To be fair, it's not like it hasn't happened before. So what we got was biscuit week. We got the intro was again a really mild Sandy and
yeah, but they
Noel
have
joke.
to be like they can't unleash full Noel on the world.
But what I think the interesting thing for me is that they've backed Sandy and Noel way down to the point where they're behind Mel and Sue.
Yeah.
My favourite tweet from earlier tonight was our friend Mike on Twitter who commented, I said, "Who's here for Great British Bake Off?" And his response was, "I don't like Sue's new haircut." I thought that was really well done.
Nice work.
So,
and she went blonde.
Yeah. My comment was that's happened, and also it apparently Mel's shrunk. A little bit shorter. And Danish. Who knew? So they had to start with biscuits, and it was sandwich biscuits to start with. So 48 individuals, so 24 biscuits all up.
Yes.
Look at me doing maths.
I know. Look at you. Just
I'm counting. I'm counting.
Like they were at What's-His-Facey bench at the end of it. It was nice having a little helping moment.
Yeah, I like it when they have those moments where they help each other. We talked about one of the things that we love about Bake Off is that there's assistance. People help each other all the time.
Absolutely.
And they've really taken sort of that to heart this year, and everyone's been helping everybody else.
And there's Tom having a little bit of struggle, and over goes Liam and a couple others giving a bit of a hand.
Nobody was able to help. When we get to the fortune cookie challenge, no one was able to help Flo. We'll come back to that in a moment. So... There was the first bit was where Liam had his biscuits and was talking through what he was doing with his biscuits, and Paul Hollywood started on about the snapping. No, you got to make a softer biscuit. I don't want a soft biscuit. My biscuits need to snap. And then they went, "Does your biscuit snap?" And then Noel went, "What about a soft snap?"
And then he's gone, "Snot snap." Yes, snot snap.
Snot snap. And then he walked off. Paul's been thoroughly confused by what Noel's just done there.
And Liam's going, "Yeah, when I was younger, I used to smoke and watch Mighty Boosh. This is awesome."
You know what? These are the biscuits that I would make while we watched Mighty Boosh. Noel always had something growing out of the back of his head. It was wonderful. We got some interesting life story background stuff again.
Mm-hmm.
I thought...
Julia's...
Yeah, the fact that Julia decided to leave Siberia to move to Crawley.
Look, there's probably a 3 degrees difference.
I don't know which is the improvement, to be honest with you. One feels a little bit like an isolated and frozen backwater where not much happens, and the other's Siberia. Sorry, Crawley. I'm sorry, Crawley. I should be keelhauled for that one.
But I loved the little tete-a-tete she had with Sandy over that, he just started talking to me, ended up walking and talking about everything and nothing for 2 hours, and Sandy's like, and that's what marriage is really, isn't it? Everything and nothing. It's like,
Sandy's been very low-key funny.
Yes.
Very just low-key hitting with a comment here and there. The intro, we'll talk a bit more about it, but there are times where you almost don't even notice she's on the show.
No, Noel's got more of a presence. And again, like, they've dialed it back. But I actually think it works well because they're finding they haven't come in going, we're better than Mel and Sue. You guys can go screw yourselves. They've come in.
That's a really awkward opening to Bake Off.
I know.
You know, they get
What's
to the
this wheelbarrow of? Oh, my awards. So many more awards than Mel and Sue.
What are you doing over there, Sandy? I'm counting the hosting jobs I have. 2 plus a couple of radio ones. Aren't I great? Yeah, they're not doing that at all. It's been good.
No, but I think they've pitched it well because it's very respectful. It's not detracting from anything because, as we said before, there was a big chance that they could eat the scene, and they haven't. So I think it's good. And then
eating the scene was the third challenge tonight.
Yeah.
Eating the scene was the third challenge. It was the board games. So that's what they were doing.
No, but I think the editors and the producers have done a good job because they've been very respectful and mindful of fans.
It's been good. No, they've done a good job with it. Yan. I love Yan.
Yan can bake.
Yan can bake.
If she doesn't set us
can you, Shoshen. I loved that Yan's wife follows her Zumba routine with peanut butter biscuits. That's the sort of thing I would do except for the Zumba bit. I would just follow my daily routine with whatever they happen to be with peanut butter biscuits.
Oh, you know.
I'd skip the Zumba. You know what I'd follow? You know what I'd follow with peanut butter biscuits?
What?
Peanut butter biscuits.
And a coffee?
I just do too.
Oh, fair enough.
So I'd have peanut butter biscuits and I'd follow that with peanut butter biscuits.
What about a warm-up of a peanut butter biscuit?
No, you got
a warm up.
And a chaser afterwards of peanut butter biscuits. Basically, what we're saying, Yan, is if you would like to send some of those to Australia, please. Look,
we'll take one for the colony.
We'll sacrifice. The colony will sacrifice for the greater good.
Don't forget us out here in your southernmost outreach.
Now, Flo. Flo is
the same age as my mum.
Flo really is the representation of Mary Berry in the tent.
Oh, yes.
Especially when they talked about the fact that at 71, she still goes for weekly cocktails with the ladies. I'm just thinking this is what Mary Berry is doing with a post-Bake-Off life.
Indeed. Do you think Flo's Mary Berry in disguise?
What, Mary snuck back into the...
tent.
So you think that she's deliberately botching some bakes early on so they don't suspect her?
Yeah, exactly. She's just kind of like, I can't be too good.
This is groundbreaking, guys. We've got this idea. I'm with it.
Flo
is Mary Berry. Yep. I'm going to rip a mask off. It was me! Screw you, Hollywood!
Try and keep me out of things.
and Flo was... actually, that would work. Because at one point, Flo was putting gin in biscuits and they said they couldn't taste the gin. And I suspect it was because... she drank the gin. Which would make it Mary Berry for sure.
A little bit for the pot, a little more for Mary.
It was nothing for the pot. It was all for Mary.
For the pot. Oh, I'm the pot. Speaking of the pot, what she was boiling in the pot, that raspberry jam really did look like she'd put her aunt self in there. And then at the end, when they're eating her biscuits and the red's just oozing out, I'm like, I know what that looks like.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah, you're right. So, I love the fact as well, the backstories this year, apart from the fact they can all bake, the backstories are cool.
Yeah.
Sophie, who was in the army, is now training to be a stunt woman. Kate restores furniture, loves history, seems to be linked to everything that's ever happened on the timeline, is a health and safety officer and an amateur blacksmith. I'm pretty sure she's Sam from Quantum Leap.
No. She's Hermione Granger. She has a time turner. She's
Possibly.
gotten permission from the ministry.
I don't know. I just like the idea that she's Sam from Quantum Leap, and she doesn't realise she's these other people.
And tonight, but tonight when she didn't get Star Baker, there's a little bit of crazy in her eyes, like Hermione gets, like, oh, I didn't come first in that. I need to get it. Now, what's going on? Remember
when the biggest backstory we had for Bake Off was when we thought last year that Val had got lost from a day trip and accidentally wandered onto television?
Which is still true.
I mean, it is.
She's probably now on, like, what's the only way is Essex or something.
Big Brother. I want her on Big Brother. Can you imagine Val in a Big Brother house?
Excuse me, Big Brother. I need to do my leg exercises.
I'm squatting at the benches.
Do you mind if I do them while I wipe down the mirrors?
I need to listen to my bakes. Can we all shut up about who we've had sex with, please? I need to listen to my bakes.
Look, hold off on that dancing doona until I've listened to my bake.
So, I was originally thinking that many biscuits for a first challenge was a lot.
Uh-huh.
But...
Oh, look, Stacey's looked amazing.
They did it.
And it had glitter. And I like how Noel Fielding's like, you need to do them like David Bowie.
And everyone just wanted to see Paul Hollywood with glitter all over him. It didn't happen. So in the judgment, there were a couple of lines there. Sandy again with some of her sneaky lines, like where Liam's came up and they went to their squishy, and Paul was trying to bite through it, and Sandy talks to me, just going, "I'll just stand here and catch Paul Hollywood's dripping, shall I?"
It's probably in her contract.
And James made the rhubarb and custard whirls that actually looked pretty good, and they said tasted really good too. Yeah. Chris made the chocolate chia with whiskey.
Nice concept.
Prue said that there was too much, and at that point I thought to myself, and finally we know what Mary Berry would have done. Because Mary wouldn't have thought so, Prue.
No, Mary would have gone, ooh, just pop that in a glass on the rocks for me.
Can I have the bottle?
Yes.
Can you just put it in my bag on the way out? Wink, wink.
Flo's probably, you know why they probably couldn't taste the whiskey as well, like it was all out of balance, is because Flo, aka Mary Berry, was in the corner downing the whiskey.
And so she had the gin, and no, they had too much whiskey in that. That was the problem. There was too much whiskey in Chris's, and apparently not enough gin in Flo's.
Although, 20 pims to the wind, Flo.
20 pims to the wind. Taking the mantle from Matt Preston.
Exactly. Sorry, Matt.
Kate had icing issues. Kate had a few icing issues today. In her showstopper, she had some icing issues as well.
She won't be a very good spokesperson for Dr. Utka. So.
We'll talk about Dr. Utka. They're going to go up a bit later. Now, Julia made what we referred to as dancing biscuits. Now, Paul Hollywood referred to them as a little bit scruffy.
Hold me closer, scruffy dancer.
I wouldn't have eaten them simply because the rosewater jelly, for a start, rosewater is always dangerous. And secondly, it looked like it was indestructible.
But you know what we did learn at that point?
Yeah.
How Paul Hollywood approaches a clitoris. Boing, boing.
He's just flicking it and tapping
boing, boing.
Sophie made limoncello biscuits.
Limoncello.
They dripped and you couldn't taste the limoncello, but they loved them anyway.
Yes.
And then Tom's biscuit dough was, as Prue put it, a triumph. So you can't really do much better than that.
No. Well done, Tom.
No Hollywood handshakes this time, but some good praise.
Yeah.
Then the technical. Now, I loved and hated this technical.
I thought it was brilliant.
No, I absolutely loved it as a viewer.
But you would have hated it
if I was a contestant, I would have just walked out of the tent and gone, there's no way. There is absolutely no goddamn way I am making 12 fortune cookies. 6 of them almond, 6 of them orange, and not just orange, but orange patterned.
Yeah, but I was watching this awesome show. I can't remember what it was. But it was pretty cool. And they showed this like little factory in like the back of Chinatown somewhere. And there was a person that just sat there all day making fortune cookies. They had this little thing that made the cookies, and they went around in a little thing, and he scrubbed them up, stuffed it in a fortune, boom. Like it was just this like boom, boom, boom. Technically, they could have done it in like 5 minutes.
Well, except for the fact they were told they had to do like 3 at a time.
Yeah.
And then use the glass, or in Flo's case.
Yeah, because you need to keep them warm.
Or in Flo's case, I don't know what she was doing.
She used the rim of the glass to shape the cookies.
She was too busy using the rim of the glass to soak up the excess gin from the first bake.
Look, when in doubt, cut your biscuits with the glass. Just panic, cut.
And there was one point, and I looked at you while it was happening, where Flo was cutting a star shape. Yes. And I looked at you and I went, what the hell is Flo making? It's like there was no reason.
An absolute mess, according to Prue.
There was no reason. So they had to make everything, including they had to make the fortunes. Now,
yeah,
my favourite interchange with that was Noel and Julia where Noel's going through, goes, make it count, and then read another one, and then goes, make it count. You've got make it count again. And Julia turns around and goes, because you should really make it count.
She was so Diana from season 2.
She's very much the Siberian Diana.
Yes.
Meanwhile, back to Flo, who had no clue. Flo's first ones that she took out looked about scone depth. And
they did look like mini macarons, really.
Yeah, and then they
like
got
fortune macarons. It's like the French went, we can do this better.
We can do this better. And then they got her to beat them up for a bit. And that was, one, I think, to get the stress out, but two, to try to give her a hint they were too thick. So then they put them back in, and they came out at like a weird doughy consistency. And I've put down here in my notes, it simply says that Flo has now made dumplings.
Can we just take a moment to think how shit Chris's must have been for him to get a rank 11th behind Flo?
Yeah. The fact is, Flo's were not the right shape, not the right thickness, not the right consistency, and not cooked. And she didn't come last. Chris just folded raw dough badly.
He essentially served an egg and flour and milk and said it's deconstructed.
So the orange ones seemed to look a bit impossible. Well, Chris did say when he was making his almond ones, they looked like a Cornish pasty. And then the orange ones seemed to be impossible. Chris made something that to me looked a bit like lark's vomit.
You're right.
Yeah, I was thinking the Monty Python Wizzo chocolate sketch. The chocolate contains lark's vomit. That's what it would have looked like. It was... A couple of other people made things that just looked like runny eggs. Flo said made dumplings. Now, the underplayed line of the show was when they got to the judging. And the voiceover simply says, Paul and Prue are expecting perfectly shaped cookies. Well
whoop-de-doo, Paul and Prue. Whoop-de-doo.
Whoop-de-doo, Paul and Prue.
I want that on a T-shirt now.
Sadly for them, when they came back in, what they got was Yan had made perfectly shaped fortune cookies. Again, the idea of, the one person of Asian background, and by the way, person of Asian background, but the person of Asian background who has a stronger British accent than anybody in the tent.
I know. Met her wife at a football club.
Oh, of course she did. That's why Yan is all kinds of awesome.
Exactly. I fucking love it.
I love Flo in a different way, but Yan is just brilliant.
Value.
I love Yan. She's great.
Yeah.
And again, Flo didn't come last, but when they moved on, Paul Hollywood's comment when they went over to hers was, moving on to whatever these are. And again, she didn't come last. And they'd already done Chris's. And she didn't do 12.
No.
And she definitely didn't flavour any of them orange.
There was no distinction between her.
It was
fortune
dumplings. Her fortune dumplings, her fortune scones. One of them looked a little bit like a fortune steamed pork bun.
I know what happened. Okay. Someone went, she's like, what are fortune cookies? They're like, you get it at a Chinese restaurant. And she's like, what? Like siu mai? And they're like, yes, just like siu mai. And that's what she came up with.
I was disappointed that nobody went with everybody's favourite fortune.
Which is?
This insert has a protective coating.
I know! Where was this? Where was that?
It? Now, we move on to the showstopper. And it was a showstopper. And it's probably one of my favourite showstoppers I've ever seen in Bake Off.
It was genius. Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
It was board games. And you had to make board games. And you had to be able to make it, you had to be able to eat it, and you had to be able to play it.
Exactly. Now, I am a little disappointed that no one made a Ouija board. Because it's technically a board game. Hasbro sell them.
It is a board game. I mean, what were you thinking of? Like,
I think they could just channel Mary Berry's spirits.
But Mary Berry's not dead.
No, I'm talking about Mary Berry. I'm talking about her alcohol. You're channeling
Channeling the liquor
Flo
cabinet.
should have made the Ouija board. She channeled more spirits.
Channeling the liquor cabinet of Mary Berry. I'm getting Cinzano.
Yes.
I'm picking up Cinzano. I just have the feeling if you channeled the liquor cabinet, there would be a bottle of Cinzano from about 1974.
And a creme de menthe.
Creme de menthe. So they had to make board games. A couple of people invented their own games. I wasn't as enamoured with that.
No.
Look,
Ooh,
again...
Get to school. Look,
Oh, no, we'll come back to...
you're a mum, Stacey.
We'll come back to get to school because
Okay.
I'm going to dig into that one quite hard.
All right.
Like Yan made the baking game, so did Julia. Chris,
That was a Jumanji. Sorry, it was the jungle game.
Chris decided to make... I don't know what that was. It was the sailing game thing, which was...
But he had a compass that spun.
Which allowed him to go home. It directed him to home.
He needed a Monopoly board.
And this brings
Go
me
directly to jail.
Before we go through what everyone else made,
Yeah.
I sort of put out on Twitter, what board games did you want to see done? Now, our friend Austinite on Twitter, she said it's Great British Bake Off. How did nobody do Monopoly? Because it's British Bake Off. Brandon, our other, great hello Brandon,
Super fan number one.
Connect 4.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And the Game of Life. Now, that would be chaos. Now, the only game I can think of that would have been more chaos was...
Secret Hitler.
Nah, Secret Hitler's easy to do. Okay. I suggested Mousetrap. 4.5 hours to make, 3 seconds to play. And, of course, It's a Knockout, the board game.
Oh, you know what someone missed a trick with? Dun, dun, dun. I can't do the test match.
Test match would have been Yan.
Yan could have done
She
test
could have
match.
done test match. And
Dun, dun,
you put
dun.
forward Ticket to Ride.
Yes.
Oh, Ticket to Ride would have been all the tracks and the trains. That would have been incredible. I would have loved to have seen Ticket to Ride. Risk would have been fun.
Oh, yeah. Cluedo.
Flames and the sight of my face.
Breathing.
What a heaving breath. They did get a lot of snakes. There were 2 snakes and ladders. One was snakes and ladders and one was drains and ladders, which was quite clever. I thought Tom was quite clever with the way he did that.
Yes.
James had Cop It, which is a game that nobody in their right mind's ever heard of. It looked good, and apparently it tasted quite good.
I was surprised no one made Pie Face.
Now, what happened was that everything that was owned by a copyright
Had to be renamed.
So, for example, they called Kate's the Jungle Game, and then when they cut back to it, she goes, "Oh yeah, it's like Jumanji." And then Flo, who openly said, "This is Operation," and then they showed the thing with the announcement of what it was, and it was called Flo's Pick My Bones Game.
And then she called it Very Unwell Ted or something like that.
And then at the end of it, she referred to him as Mr. Neverwell.
That's it.
To which Prue went, "I'm not surprised." So it was a really good episode in terms of this challenge was great. And get to school, Stacey. I don't know anyone in their right mind who would want to play Get to School. Not even your children, in trying to bribe them to go to school, want to play Get to School. You know what you've got there? You've got a blazer, and then you've got a schoolyard, and then you've got your bag and your books, and every time you win, you get a little bit of a present, you get a bit of a prize and a biscuit that you really like, except when Paul Hollywood tasted the biscuits and he went, "These are horrible."
It's kind of like, get to school and you go to a really shitty school with a crap canteen.
Get to school, you get beaten up on the way, the bus gets lost, you're late to class.
Yeah.
Day of tests you
Forgot
weren't really
your
expecting.
textbooks.
Yeah, all those things.
You've gotten to school and it's actually a fucking Saturday.
You had, as well as that, you also had Liam went with the multi-game setup. No Ludo.
Multi-ball.
No Ludo.
No Ludo. No.
Now, I've never seen Ludo played personally.
I have.
Again, Austinite was saying to me that their daughter plays it and they love it. So good for them. Never seen it played.
Hold on. No, backgammon. That's what I'm thinking of. Why didn't someone do a backgammon board?
A backgammon board would have just been macarons.
Yeah.
You could have just done it with macarons. That would worked quite well, actually. We're thinkers.
Mastermind. Why didn't anyone do mastermind?
Well, the other suggestion that I was trying to put forward was Battleship.
Oh.
I wanted electronic Battleship just to really make it an extra challenge. That was great. I loved electronic Battleship.
Yeah,
Beep,
we
beep,
had that
beep.
when I was a kid. Yeah.
So there was a couple of comments. Again, Kate at one point made a statement where she was painting her items and went, "Doing the monkeys needs to be precise."
Yeah.
Now,
look, zookeepers will tell you.
Zookeepers will tell you. Groupies of the band in the 1960s will also tell you.
Davey.
That Davy Jones is exact. He's an exact science.
Mike and Pete talk.
My other note that I have here simply says Flo had issues. It seems to be the note that I put all night. The other one was at the end when Noel was trying to help and they've turned around and she said, "How can I help? Is there any way I can assist you?" And she goes, "What's your piping like?" And he goes, I'm a great piper. I'm a powerful piper. I'm known as the powerful piper.
And thus
he shall forever be.
The powerful piper.
So when they did the testing, they said that Tom, apparently the mixed spice board was okay.
Looks great.
Bit soft. Some of the things were a bit soft. Sophie's game played well. Her snakes and nuts played very well, and the flavour was really good. Mm-hmm. It looked impressive too. Apparently, the other one was Chris burnt the biscuits. It looked bad. He burnt the biscuits. But beyond burning the biscuits and making it look horrible, it was great.
Yeah. Yans, they didn't like.
They just thought the flavour wasn't.
They said they could taste the matcha that was coming through, but the rest was.
And I'm actually impressed we got to episode 2 before matcha. You know me and my hatred of matcha.
Yeah, but what did we guess was going to be the new flavour of the uzu?
At
the end of MasterChef, we're like, oh my God, that's the new flavour. Black something or other.
Black garlic.
Black garlic.
Well, not so much for Bake Off it won't be, but for MasterChef
who
it will
knows?
Be. But black garlic seemed to be the one they were using every 2.5 seconds.
Yeah. Anyway.
So Chris basically ruined his. Paul Hollywood called Kate's messy. Again, if you had Mary Berry there, it would have been informal.
Informal?
It was solid and lacking flavour. Stacey's piping and icing was great, but apparently the biscuit was chewy and rubbery. Also, P.S., it's a game based off us going to school. So that doesn't help you. And
a lot of icing. Too much icing and to biscuit ratio.
And now Flo. Now, I need to talk about Flo before we get to...
I thought we'd already talked about Flo.
No, not in this we didn't.
Oh, okay.
But I need to talk about Flo because I need to get on then to the winner.
Okay.
Flo was told off
for making her own icing.
Making her own fondant. Now, this is a world that we're not familiar with in Bake Off because...
We've definitely landed in Channel 4, haven't we, folks?
We've definitely landed. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Otka, proudly supporting Great British Bake Off.
Look, next time they're going to be, sponsored by, I don't know, White Wings cake mixers.
They're going to have to make the cake.
They're not going to have to make the cake.
Open the packet and put it in the mixer.
Now, what can you do with the icing?
Now, I get the idea that they're like, you've got the fondant there, so, just use it. But it just... Again, I just keep thinking back to what would Mary Berry do, and the answer is yell at you for using packet fondant.
It's probably the reason why she didn't come across. She went, "You want to what?"
Yes, you're going to do what with the fondant? What? What was that? It's like the idea of when they do meringue, if they're blowtorching versus oven baking. It's another Mary Berry sticking point.
The thing I found, though, is that their fondant colours were kind of natural. Like every Dr. Oetker fondant colour I've seen in the shops has been a little off.
They've been like a weird pink.
Yeah.
An unusual blue that's not a natural blue in any way,
And I'm sure
shape,
that's
or
what
form.
the shade's called.
Unusual blue. Unusual blue. And Stephen. Now,
wow.
The more I looked at that, the better it got. And it wasn't... The pieces were well crafted. The colours were amazing.
Like those little pies on top.
Yeah, it was for me, it was the detail of the pie and the pasty and the cupcakes. The cupcakes on the pawns.
Yes.
And... The skill and the detail, and then it all tasted great.
Yes, and the fact it was it wasn't just your usual checkerboard, like a chessboard. It was like it was a Union Jack themed.
Exactly.
Just
It was, and it looked amazing. So look,
yeah.
it was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
Now you also pointed out before we get to the end of it here that you think that Kate resembles somebody from previous seasons of Great British Bake Off.
Oh yeah, she's like lackadaisical Flora.
Yeah. If Flora wasn't so much stressed all the time and was
Yeah.
far more chill about doing a million things at once.
Kate's got Flora's grand plans and not a lot of her, like
None of her stress.
none of her stress or gumption.
None of her stress. None of her worry. So Star
Kate's like,
Baker.
well, fuck this. If this doesn't work out, I can always be a blacksmith or a furniture workshop.
I can be everything because I
can be
travel through
everything else.
time. I can do what I want. So Star Baker was Stephen, and there was no argument there at all.
Yeah.
There was absolutely no argument whatsoever. And going home was Chris, and again, absolutely no chance that he was staying.
Even he's gone, oh, look, surprise. He knew he was going.
Yeah, he knew he was going home. So that was Biscuit Week. Next week, funnily enough, he finishes off by going, I'm disappointed I didn't get to Bread Week because I really like making bread. And they go, next week, Bread Week. And, of course, this will be our chance to relive, of course, one of the greatest moments of Great British Bake Off history, the first loaf of Alvin's ciabatta. So, with that, we will catch you all next week for another episode of The Washing Up.
Yes, we will.
I've been Chris.
I've been Kristie.
And we'll see you all later.
Ciao.